Hello, and welcome to another episode of Keep It Moving Podcast. I am your host, Novelty, and joining me, as always, is the What It Do man.
What it do?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm sleepy.
Why?
I don't know.
You been up all day?
No, you know what? I've noticed. Okay, now I'm getting ready to add to y'all's calling me old for real. But I done started taking naps on the weekend.
Well, I like naps when I can get them. Usually when I get off of work, I'm ready. Like it's time.
It's not normal for me. But like yesterday,
It should be normal for you.
Eyes open. No, it's not normal for me. And don't start with my age.
You started this.
I started the conversation, but don't start with my age. But no, I'm not used to taking naps. I'm always busy, and I had a ton of stuff to do yesterday. But after I'm on my lawn, I couldn't. I literally could not. I went and laid down for 2 hours and then got up and worked.
I mean, did you actually take a nap or did you just lay down?
No, I took a nap. I fell asleep.
Right on. I feel like naps are good for you.
I woke up to a little dog in my face wanting to go outside.
Oh, okay. I didn't appreciate naps when I was younger because they used to make you take naps in kindergarten, I believe. I used to be ready to wake up. No, we had like those little pads that you had in gym class.
Oh, we had cots.
Oh, it's like they were prepared for y'all to nap.
Oh yeah, we had cots. They used to stand up, and they weren't foldable cots.
Okay,
they stood up against the wall. You had to get your cot.
This sounds crazy, actually. But I used to be ready to wake up, because after nap time we got chocolate milk and like 1 or 2 Oreo cookies, and that was like the best. That's why I'm big now. They started me out early.
From kindergarten, chocolate milk.
from kindergarten. But I used to love naps. Well, I didn't love naps back then, like I said, because I wanted to get up and get my treat. But now, like when I can get a nap, I feel like that's a real treat.
Man, I mean, and I think during the week I'm sitting at my desk and I'm yawning all day, and I just want to go lay down.
What do you do for energy though?
What can I do for energy? I'm
working. Do they have like energy boosters? Like you can get this little powder, like emergency power. It gives you a boost of energy. 5 hour.
They say
coffee.
Caffeine works and stuff like that. I've never tried it. I've tried the caffeine and all of that. That stuff does nothing for me. So I've just never tried any of that other stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you. It works for me.
So I find myself on the weekend taking naps, and now I'm ready to take a nap. I'm ready to curl up and get up under some covers and.
I think the reason that I'm tired though, because I'm up till like 2:00 in the morning.
Well, I was yesterday because I took a nap, so I went through the night and I was just working. I don't think I went to bed till 3 or 4.
But see, it's not the weekend for me. This is like during the week, every day. I'm up till 2:00 and then have to get up, go to work. So I'm like, by the time I get off work, it's time for a nap.
Yeah. See, if I'm up till 2:00 on the weekend, I'm not getting up at 7 to make it to the gym. So I'm trying to behave.
Right on. You got to do what you got to do.
Anyway, you got a bae for me?
I do. And I'm sure you probably already even know who it is after the news we got. Was it last week? Mr. LeBron James opening up his I Promise school in Akron, Ohio. Once I saw like what the school was offering and seeing that LeBron just stepped out there and tried to help make this thing or facilitate this thing for, his old community, I was just so proud of this young man. But some of the things or the highlights of the I Promise School from LeBron James offers free tuition, free uniforms, free bicycle and helmet, free transportation within 2 miles, free breakfast, lunch, and snacks, food pantry for the families, GEDs and job placements, services for parents, guaranteed tuition to the University of Akron for every student who graduates. That's a lot.
Well, and what I like about it most is that he's not just dealing with the student. He's dealing with the parent, too.
Exactly. That's what it reminds me of is back in the day when they used to say, it doesn't happen too much now, but it takes a village.
Yes,
and
it does.
This is trying to encompass the village. Not just looking out for the at-risk youth, but also looking out for the parent, looking out for the educators, looking out just to help. And who was this lady? The I Promise principal and Akron native Brandy Davis said, "We are letting people know that it is about true wraparound support, true family integration, and true compassion."
That's what we need to be. We need more schools like that.
I feel like something like this should be coming or being administered from the Department of Education.
Right.
The Secretary of Education.
Definitely.
This is what they should be trying to push and be striving for. They're not.
Let's be real. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's her or even a Democrat. This is never going to come from the Department of Education. Just know that this is something we have to do for our own communities. But while we're talking about that, I do want to mention something. Someone posted, because I posted that article on the Facebook page, and somebody posted underneath it an article that said something to the effect that LeBron James didn't pay for the school, that the city of Akron is actually doing it. But the source was Breitbart.com.
Okay.
And I responded, and then I removed the post. So I want to explain why I did that. When I post anything, or when we post anything from here, we post from reputable sources. Breitbart is not a reputable source. So if you go in to dispute another post that's posted on the page, whether it's by us or even one of our viewers and one of our listeners, but if that post comes from a non-reputable source and it's news related, we're going to remove those, because this is not a place to just post fake news.
Right.
And when I say reputable source, I mean sources that have been around and been fact checked for years, if not decades. I post from CNN mostly, Washington Post, USA Today. These are sources that have been around for news, around for decades rather, broken news stories left and right. They are reputable. They can be fact checked. And the majority of the time, it's not just them carrying the story.
Right, exactly.
Several other people are carrying the exact same story. So that's where we post from, unless we're being silly or something like that. And sometimes I'll post one and I'll say, I don't know if this is true or not, but the headline cracks me up. You know, things like that. And I'll make it known when I make that post that, hey, I'm not sure how much truth there is in this, but hey, check this out, or hey, this might be a good read. I don't know how much truth it is in it, but otherwise we only use reputable sources. So if you post from a non-reputable source, I will let you know that this is not a reputable source, and I will remove it.
Right on. But I also have an honorary mention for Black Achievements and Excellence, and this is going to Ebony Harris in Burton, Michigan. And she was the Walmart cashier who, one of the ladies that comes to Walmart, which is, I guess, how she knows the lady, but she has cerebral palsy, and the nail shop didn't want to do her nails, I guess, because of her condition. She shakes, and I guess they didn't feel comfortable or safe doing it, so they didn't want to do her nails. And so Ebony skipped her break at work and did the lady's nails because she wanted to just feel pretty for a day. And I just thought that was awesome to look out. I don't know how she knows her from coming to the store, but I don't know if they have like a relationship beyond that. But the fact that you would skip your lunch break just to help make this lady feel pretty and happy for just a moment, I think that's awesome.
We got to remember that people with disabilities and even mental disabilities, they're still people, and they want to, just like you and me, they want to get their nails and hair did, want to have a pedicure, manicure, they want to get massage. I mean, just the same things you want. They're people. They want to.
Right.
They have a disability. They have a disadvantage that we don't. And in a lot of cases, it's not necessarily a disadvantage. It might be an advantage that we don't. And I saw something on ABC, and I don't know the young man's name, but a young man was stocking the shelves, and a kid who was he had, what did he have? Autism. He was an autistic kid. He just started helping him. He started taking the stuff out of the box and putting it on the shelves. And so the kid who was stocking the shelves, he just stopped and he kind of helped him and let him do it and kind of talked him through what he was doing. And the father sat there and recorded the whole thing crying because it was the first time his child had interacted with anyone. And his child was like 15 years old. He's like, this is the very first time this has ever happened. And if it wasn't for that young man just allowing him to do it, allowing him to feel like a person. Right. So the store owner offered him a job.
Helping to stock. Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, it just makes them feel like they're part of the world.
Right.
Instead of
and
just
not
so
forgotten
outcast.
or invisible and, pushed to the side like a lot of people treat people with disabilities. It's crazy.
We are all more alike than we really
want to admit.
Yeah, we are a lot. I mean, being human is human. It doesn't have anything to do with the color of your skin.
Yep, we all go through struggles. We all have issues.
Doesn't matter your race, your creed, your
anything,
how you whether or not you are heterosexual, or it doesn't matter. None of that matters at the
end of the day.
core.
Yeah,
we're all just human.
right.
And everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be respected. And to be truthfully honest, everybody wants to stand on their own 2 feet.
I don't know about that. There are some people who don't mind taking a hand out.
Ones you kind of kick out the door. Like that mama bird drops her baby bird, says, fly or die.
Figure it out.
All right.
So shout out to LeBron James, and like I said, honorary mention to Mrs. Ebony Harris.
Woohoo!
Now that we've given them their shine, have you had a pedicure before? Manicure? I'm sure you had a manicure, but you do your own. I think you said.
I do my own, but yeah, I've had them done. But
what about your feet?
By people I trust. Yes.
You had your feet done too.
Uh-huh.
What do they do to your feet?
Well, they you sit them in a little bubbly water, and it feels so good and tingly.
Okay, like you had a flashback there. Good.
And then they put some sloughing lotion on it to kind of slough off the dead skin, and they massage your little footsies and your toes and your tootsies, and then they clean up your toenails and cut them back if they need to, clean up cuticles down there, and then paint them. For me,
okay,
I'm female. Come on.
Okay. When I was reading the story and just thinking about the whole manicure pedicure situation, it reminded me of a conversation that you and I had, where we were watching TV and you said something about someone's feet, and I said, I don't be paying attention to people's feet, and you said, feet. I don't pay attention to people's feet, and you said you should look at people's feet more often so you can realize how jacked up yours are. And of course, I never forgot. I never forgot that. For some reason, I don't think that's something that like guys get, but no,
y'all need to.
I don't know about that.
And a lot of guys, guys do get them.
They're starting to do it a lot more now.
They used to call them metrosexuals.
Oh, okay.
Because they would get they manicures and pedicures and keep their face clean shaven. I'm thinking these are just well-groomed men. I didn't know they all had a whole different classification.
Uh-huh.
But no, y'all need to. Number one, when you put lotion,
I don't put on lotion.
Problem. This is part of your problem. When you put lotion on your feet, when you put lotion on your feet, lotion gets caught up under your toenails. And when you stick the shoe in the sock and the sock in the shoe, or the foot in the sock and the sock in the shoe,
uh-huh.
and then you got sweat, and all of this combination of dirt and sweat and lotion is up under your toenails, and that crap stinks. So if you don't clean under your toenails and get that out,
that's why you clip your toenails, though, right?
Well, you don't want to clip them all the way down, because then you'll start having ingrown toenails if you clip them too low.
Oh,
so you still gonna have a little bit of a.
I didn't know these rules.
Yeah, and that's just it. Most men don't realize that this happens. So now your feet stink, and you wonder, well, why my feet stink? You go in, you take a shower, and now soap is stuck up under there with that crud, and because you're not.
Quit saying crud.
It is crud. It is gross. And so when you get a pedicure, they go in and they clean under your toenail. Just like you clean under your fingernails when you get a manicure, they clean under your toenail, and they get all that stuff out that you are not getting out when you in the shower. And we know you're not getting it out because you won't put lotion on your feet.
I don't need lotion on my feet.
My point exactly. That's why I said maybe if you look at more people's feet more often, you understand how jacked up yours are. I'm just saying.
Anyway. We can go ahead and move on.
No, you open this door. You need a pedicure, and I swear, I think that I'm gonna give you that for your Christmas present.
But I'm not gonna go.
Why
are you gonna?
not?
Oh, are you gonna perform it?
Oh hell no! I ain't touching them feet.
If you ain't gonna perform it, then it's not about to happen. You ain't gonna see me up in no Ling Ling shop trying to get my feet done.
But that's just it. I wouldn't send you to Ling Ling shop. That's why I said it had to be somebody I trust. I used to know a girl who did them, and I knew how she kept her shop and how she kept her utensils and stuff. So I would go to her. Now I just do them myself because I can do them on my own.
Speaking of, have you been seeing that video about I think it was a lady and her grandmother were at the nail salon or whatever, and I think the story was that she got it was 3 services she got done. One of them being like her nails and maybe her feet, and then her eyebrows done. And I guess once she looked at her eyebrows, she wasn't satisfied with it, so she refused to pay. And I don't know if she was refusing to pay for just the eyebrows, or
probably
if she was refusing to pay for the entire situation because of how jacked up her eyebrows were. But there was a video, and this was in Brooklyn or the Bronx. It was in the East Coast. But there was a video going around of the staff like jumping on these ladies. I don't know how it all started. Like I don't know, but they at one point you see them beating them with broomsticks, and it was crazy. And so then you start hearing about like people protesting the shop because of the treatment of these two ladies, because it looked ridiculous. The fact that y'all got weapons now and y'all beating up on these ladies. I'm sure at that point, once you pulled out a broom, then I'm just trying to get out of this. And I don't know if $5 is worth beating somebody with a broomstick over.
It costs more than $5.
No, I'm saying that's for that particular shop. That was the story. The eyebrows only cost $5.
She probably wasn't paying for the whole thing, but. I don't know. No, I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen that? It looks crazy.
It's just certain things. I don't know. I do most of my grooming myself. So hair, nails, all of it. So I just don't deal with all that other rigmarole.
Have you had any issues at the
I don't go to big shops. I go to little. I have two people who have done my hair pretty much since I was 14 years old. It's only two people I would go to. And one is a friend that my cousin knows very well. They close. They real close. And then the other's my uncle's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
So
you know her.
These are people I know. I just no, that's okay. The person that was doing my manicures and pedicures is my uncle's ex-girlfriend's daughter. She had her shop, and all three of her children now
work there.
Do some type of cosmetology. So.
Well, if you do go, just be careful because they
okay.
whooping ass in these shops.
That's okay, but I need you to take care of them feet.
Ladies, you see how I took it off of me?
Because I'm bringing it right back. Because I knew you was changing the subject. So, ladies, please respond. Let Mike B know how important it is for a man's feet to be nice. You in the bed with a girl all cuddled up. You rub your feet up against her and they scratch her legs raw. No, come on.
Are you into toes though?
No, I'm not into toes.
I'm asking. Are you into toes?
Not at all. But I want you to have some decent feet. Just like your hands to me are major. Guys whose hands, they cut their nails way below the skin line, or their nails look like longer than mine. Or they don't keep them clean. That grosses me out, because all I'm thinking is, oh, you putting those hands on me. That's a turnoff for me. The same with your feet.
That's one thing I
when
don't
look at. When it looks like you've been kicking rocks with your bare feet. No, that's a turn.
I don't know if I've ever looked at a girl's hands and like, I wonder what she do. Like, or does she clean her hands? Like, I've never paid attention.
You ain't had a girl rub up against your body with her hand, and her hand feel like,
nope, like
Freddy Krueger's fingernails.
Nope.
See, but I've had a guy touch me and feel like that and be like, never again. And this be like a dude I'm not even dating, but he come up, hey, baby, the right then and there. No, thank you. You go that way. I'm going to go this way. Wow. I got a boyfriend. I'm married. I'm a lesbian.
Say
I'm something.
Say whatever you got to say to get out of that.
Whatever I got to say to get the hell out of that situation. Because I'm very picky about hands, because they gonna be on me. And your feet, when you get in the bed and you rub your feet up against me,
I don't think that's an issue for guys. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't think it's an issue for guys.
I've seen more guys looking at a woman's feet going,
no.
You need to
but
do
I
something
was
with
talking
your
about
feet.
hands.
Oh, hands.
Now I will notice some sexy toes, but that's all I'm gonna say. I will notice that. But other, like, seeing if she kicking rocks or like her nails are dirty, like, I wouldn't notice any of that.
Dude, it's obvious when they look like they're kicking rocks.
Do she not have on shoes?
Dusty and cracked and peeling.
I just look away. Just look at something. What else she got going on? I'm looking for the next best attribute.
Yeah, that's gross.
Anyway, okay. Enough toe talk.
You brought it up. I forgot all about it, but it was the truth, ladies.
You a hater?
So y'all know, Mike B need to do something with his feet.
You a hater?
No, just do something with your feet, babe.
Anyway.
Anywho. So I'm gonna give a pretty quick rundown on a few things, just so everybody is aware of some things. Sessions was threatened with contempt of court, and I'm talking about Jeff Sessions, by a judge after he deported two plaintiffs in a current lawsuit against the administration. So they in court one day as the plaintiff in a lawsuit, and the next day he got him on a plane, sending him out of the country.
Who?
Jeff Sessions. So the judge said if he didn't get them two people back in the States immediately, he would be held in contempt of court. How you gonna do that? How you gonna
As the attorney general, like the main guy.
Somebody is going after you in court, and you put them on a plane and send them away. Anybody else would be in jail.
Yep. Well, we already know how corrupt this administration is proving themselves to be.
Well, they keep on doing it. Melania's Trump's her mama and her daddy.
Yeah.
Welcome them to the U.S. They are now citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they over here under chain migration. That's the only way they got here, and that's what Trump swears up and down is the devil, chain migration.
Maybe he was fighting because he didn't want them to be U.S. citizens. Maybe that was his secret agenda.
Maybe.
He was like, we don't want them. Y'all don't, I've had to have many dinners with them. Y'all don't want them to be citizens.
Well, and it's got to be something going on with Melania and Trump, because she watching CNN on Air Force One, and now he talking about LeBron James, and she said he's a wonderful man.
She went against him.
She going against Trump everywhere you turn now. So keep your eyes open. It ain't.
She still don't get no pass. We still ain't smiling at her ass.
She don't get no pass, just like that dang on Omarosa. She don't get no pass either.
I'm a damn Rosa.
So in her book, she says Trump called people the N-words on the Apprentice set. Okay, first and foremost, I don't not believe it, but coming out of her mouth don't make it credible.
But no, that came out a long time ago when he was campaigning, and then people were trying to pay. Remember, somebody offered like $5 million to the producers to release the tape, and because they had heard word of Trump saying the N-word during the tapings.
Well, in one interview, she said she didn't hear it, or no, in the book, she said she didn't hear it personally. She heard about it. And then in an interview, she said, no, I heard it. So she contradicted
her own self.
You can't believe a word that come out this woman's mouth. But wait a minute. Here's the kicker. It comes out today, I believe, that she taped her firing. So she had a hidden tape recorder in the Situation Room with Kelly firing her. And she just let the world know she has this tape. Now, first and foremost.
Wait a minute, because she was acting like her and Trump, once she was let go or she decided to resign, when April Ryan told her ass, you got fired, she made it seem like her and Trump were cool, like everything's on the up and up.
She got it on tape recorder. Well, not tape recorder, phone recorder.
You think so?
I know so.
She could be lying. I mean, have they played the tape?
Yes.
Oh.
And you hear Kelly. He's telling her she got to go. He said Trump is not the one in charge. He was. I was like,
really?
Dang, yes. He said nobody works for Trump here. You work for me. And boom, out the door. She has the whole thing on tape. She's trying to get Kelly to go into details about why he's firing her. He won't. But wait a minute. Now, here's the thing. This is the Situation Room. Mm-hmm. This is a room that's scrubbed to make sure it can't be recorded, that nobody is listening in. She done snuck a tape record, a phone, and hit record in there. In the Situation Room. This is like illegal beyond illegal.
That's like, a definite security breach.
So, well, Omarosa going to jail. She might go to jail for this.
I'm sure she's probably thought about that.
I'm not.
You don't think she has?
No.
You think she's just out here trying to do whatever to sell this book? And then I saw like an interview that she did where she was saying how this administration is, wrong, and how she was complicit with this administration. She wasn't really understanding how deep she was
trying
involved.
To get back her black card.
She's trying.
But she
talks so much shit to black people. How you think
it's gonna happen?
You can't just say, you know what, I was wrong, forgive me.
No.
Like we're gonna forget, especially when you in cahoots with that dude. Nah, it's gonna take a little bit more than that.
I don't trust her. She has no credibility. So her lovely book, you might say all the things that we all believe, is she could know that Trump was with the Russians and said, I mean, she could have been there when Trump and Putin shook hands on the deal, and nobody would believe her. But
she ruined her credibility.
She ruined her credibility when she was on The Apprentice to me. So I don't know.
I told you that was the reason I stopped watching that show. I hated to see her on that show. She was just a B-I-T-C-H.
All I saw was the commercials.
I used to actually do reviews of that show. She's so like pompous and so arrogant and talks to people like she's so condescending all the time. Like she's the shit.
And she ain't shit.
They showed her how much of the shit she was when they kicked her ass out the White House.
Know what else she recorded? personally.
Because why would she think or know to record that particular conversation?
All I know,
Maybe she recorded a lot more.
all I know is y'all sitting there watching The Bachelor, and y'all sitting there watching all these little hip hop, loving hip hop, and the Housewives. All I'm watching is the news, and I'm like, dang.
Because the news has turned into
You
reality
should see
TV.
me at 5:30 every day when the nightly news come on. I get in my chair. I'm like, ooh, time, and I'm like, hey, here we go. All I need is some popcorn.
My goodness. But that's the sad part, because it shouldn't be reality TV in real life. You shouldn't be seeing the same shit you see on Love and Hip Hop coming from the White House or coming from this administration.
They said that the Manhattan Madam was going in to talk to the special counsel about the president. All I could say was something ain't right about. Am I dreaming? Is this
We've been saying
reality?
something ain't right
No,
since
but I mean,
November the
it's like
6th?
The Manhattan Madam, come on. It's like, how far in the gutter can he take us? And you know how I used to say he's the devil? I don't think he's the devil. I think he's just he's the what do they call the spokesmodel? He's the devil's spokesmodel.
Okay.
You know, the devil, I don't think none of us have ever, there's nobody that has an ideology of what the devil really looks like. I think it's just this image that everybody's put out for a company, a brand. You know, the red guy with horns and that's
And the pitchfork
Trump.
or whatever.
But the devil is that Michael Miller, ugly looking kid behind him.
Stephen Miller.
That's the devil.
He's
the one
that dude
has
is
come up with
creepy.
every one of these policies that are inhumane as far as I'm concerned. He's the one behind all of these kids getting separated. Now stories are coming out about kids being raped in these facilities and
By who?
sexually assaulted in these facilities by people in these facilities. It's something going on in Texas, and I'm like, I don't even know where to go with this. This is so wrong. And then the Kansas City Star just broke a huge story, I want to say this week, about a farm here somewhere in Missouri where they were bringing in immigrants to farm the farm. And it's some American policy you can do it at, under, but you have to bring them in and you have to give them lodging. They were storing 80 people in a jail facility that only held 40. Broken windows, half the plumbing didn't work. You could get on cold water out of 2 faucets, lukewarm water out of the others. They didn't have toilets that worked. I mean, it was just disgusting.
Were they getting paid? Like what?
They getting federal grant money to do it.
No, I'm saying were the workers getting paid?
They were
Because
supposed
that
to get
condition,
paid.
those conditions.
They're supposed to get paid so much an hour. And then what they were doing is they give them 2 checks. One for 300 something and one for 100 something. They would put them on a bus, force them to go cash the checks at one bank in particular, and then force them to give them back the $100 check. So it looked right on the books.
Okay.
The Star is working on this. I mean, it's like, this is some
Did you
crazy
post this?
mess. No, I just saw it.
Okay.
And I haven't found it online. I actually saw it in the
physical paper. Okay.
So I'm just going, oh my God, this is
Crazy.
Yes,
to say the least.
But this is coming.
But how long has that been going on? Do we know?
See, that I don't know yet. It could have been happening way before this administration, because the reality is this administration is crazy, but people are crazy.
Yeah.
And
I'm
people
sure
that
no
need
matter
to
who's
make
in charge,
money
there's going to
are
be somebody
crazy.
looking to make money, somebody looking to cheat the system, somebody looking for a loophole in order to
And
work
that's what
around
this
shit
looks
like
like.
this.
This
Yeah.
looks more like somebody found a loophole with a government policy that was in place where they could go get immigrants and bring them up here and treat them like crap.
The fact that there's a government policy that allows you to go and get immigrants and treat them like crap.
Well, no, because the policy does not allow you to do that. The policy says,
But you would think
can
there'd
go
be
get
some
'em, you
type
have
of
to pay.
oversight.
It is. Well,
There can't be oversight if they are housing
no,
these people in
'cause
this facility
I guess
and
the
it's looking like
oversight
this.
wasn't there. The oversight wasn't in place, and maybe that's something this administration got rid of. I don't know.
That's
Honestly,
that's believable.
but the oversight was not in place. But the policy itself says you go get them, but they have to pay a certain minimum wage. They had a minimum
And
wage as
provide
well.
lodging.
You had to provide lodging for them. They could only be here to work for so many hours a day. They could only work for so long, and then you had to send them back so they could spend time with their families, and then you could bring them back up here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's an actual policy that's in place that may have been fair, but
Before somebody decided
to it's more than abuse. Beat it down, tear it up, throw it out the door, and then say, okay, you know, this is wrong. And then we are back to the NFL protesting. They kneeling.
That's
power
good
to the people.
I mean, because the kneeling, it has nothing to do with the flag. So,
and your friend said that
who is my friend?
That 45 guy, that one guy. He says that they don't even know what they kneeling for.
He doesn't know what they're kneeling for, and he may actually know what they're kneeling for. I saw that
really?
those series of tweets, and I said the same thing. I said this dude here is ridiculous.
Everybody knows what they kneeling for.
And I would have said, or I would have replied, "Tell us about your meeting with Putin." Well, you want to talk about being unpatriotic? Let's talk about that.
Right. So
He don't need to put the NFL protest nowhere in his mouth, but we know he's going to do it every time he can in order to try to change the narrative, in order to take the heat off of him.
Well, I want to go on a little tangent, just a small one.
Okay.
Common sense.
Okay.
This is what I want to know. Have you ever seen those signs that tell people don't touch the hot stove because, well, it's hot? Or don't go out into the water because you might drown. You know, don't go into the river by yourself. Don't take a swim.
Uh-huh.
You see those?
Don't feed the crocodiles. Yes.
Don't go pet the bear.
Yeah.
Don't wear a zebra
Now,
suit
I'm sure they got
in the wild.
warning signs that say, like, no selfie with the tiger, you know, or something. Because people are kind of stupid nowadays. They want to take risk. They got to get that perfect selfie.
And on some, highways lately, you've been seeing the signs that say, don't do the Kiki challenge in a moving car.
Oh, yeah. I think we had that here in Kansas City.
And I'm trying
The fact
to
that you have to
figure out,
say this.
don't take a selfie with a volcano.
Yeah. Because it's hot out here.
I got a problem with this because this is common sense now.
Yeah.
You know, volcanoes are hot. You see the government,
especially
and
when you see how
saying,
red that lava is.
Right. Well, the thing is, forget that. Everybody's going away from it. You watching it burn down houses, melt metal, and your logic is, oh, I'm in a safe place. Let me get closer to the action. So
you got to get that perfect video because they paying top dollar. You might die.
You better find a drone and hope it makes it back.
Yeah.
My thing is, at this point, I am tired of wasting resources to go save these people. You doing the Kiki challenge out the car and you fall and get hit, die. Just die.
Just die. That's
you go
that's
take
not
a
right.
selfie with a volcano and the lava hit you, just die.
Oh, Lord.
I don't think that nobody's emergency vehicles need to be ripping through the streets, taken away from the person who getting beat up by this man, who getting assaulted by this person, whose house is really burning down because somebody done set it on fire, or maybe they accidentally set it on fire themselves.
Or in an electrical thing or something like that.
To come get your dumb ass who want to go play with the bear. You ain't stupid.
Can you say that?
And see, lately they've been calling these clear people things. This is what clear people do.
Clear people
problems. Clear people stuff.
Uh-huh.
I don't care what color your pigment is. If you're dumb enough to go and dress in a zebra suit and go play with the zebras out in the wild, when the lions come and get your butt, I don't care. Die. Just die.
I could agree with some of that, yeah. Because people do a lot of stupid stuff. And you just you look at the computer and it's like, maybe if we didn't have social media and people didn't share and glory, but the fact that people share, everybody's doing stuff to go viral. So if you can take that risky photo or that risk period
need to
and
die.
then survive, then it's like, oh, my mom made it. Because now everybody wants to know how I did it. Everybody share my video. People are following me now to see what risky shit I'm going to do next. It's all for the followers. It's all for the views.
I don't care. Common sense is common sense. So if you doing something because you acting like you don't have common sense, when your ass die, I'm not going to cry.
How you got to have a heart, Novelty? You got to have a heart.
You know what? I always have a heart, but it's just I'm so tired of seeing something on the news or seeing some fool go up. Let me pet the lion. Let me go pet the cheetah.
I've
kidding
heard
me?
that lions really do have soft fur.
And I will never know for sure unless it's dead. And when somebody is wearing the lion jacket, then I will pet the lion.
But you don't know that ain't fresh. So you don't know they could have been that's processed lion
That's the
fur.
question I'll ask the Lord when I meet him. Are lions fur really soft? It's not that serious. It's not worth my life.
But you got to know. You got to know.
It ain't worth my life. Do I believe that the water in the river is fast and the current is so fast that it can take you off, throw you up against rocks, and you can die? Yeah. Do I have to experience that to believe it? No.
Well,
no.
If you're a good swimmer, you might be able to.
No.
No.
I'm an excellent swimmer. No.
Are you?
Heck yeah.
You don't have swimmer's ankles. I cannot see.
What the hell is a swimmer's ankle?
Your ankles aren't the ankles of a swimmer.
What do they look like ankles.
I know.
I
Not
got
swimmer's
sexy
ankles.
Okay. They're all nice and thin.
Okay.
They probably the only part on me that's thin. My ankles and my what's these things in
Wrist.
my wrist. I said, what's these things?
All right. Excellent swimmer. We'll let you have that one.
So my point being, I don't care. I know how to swim because if anything does happen and I get thrown into a body of water, an ocean, a river perhaps, at least I can attempt to save my own life.
Right.
But I'm not getting ready to go look for the action. The Lord did. People bungee jumping. Woohoo! You die. Hey, that's on you.
That's one thing I just do not understand.
Jumping
bungee
out of
jumping,
planes. You die.
Skydiving.
Y'all want to do it? Just knock yourself out. But do not call the paramedics when things go wrong.
Well, you got to call somebody to help you out, right?
That's what they're there for. That's there in the air that threw you out. Now, like there was this.
Hey, John. Yeah, you just tossed me off the plane. I'm having some trouble.
Now there's this one video where the girl was about to jump off this bridge, and
for
her
what?
friend pushed her off because it was water under it.
Oh,
she was just
like for fun.
For fun.
Oh, okay.
She was gonna jump, but her friend pushed her because she was like, "No, wait a minute, I don't want to do it." Wait, and so her friend pushed her, and you could hear her hit the water, and she didn't hit the water in no kind of diving position, no toes, no hands, no, you flat. You could just hear her go splat, and she broke all kind of bones and stuff in her body. Now in that situation,
was the friend charged?
Well, they won't tell who the friend is yet.
Oh, okay.
So as of Friday,
this is something recent.
This is something recent.
Okay.
But as far as I'm concerned, in that situation, she wasn't ready to jump. So
but the fact that we were here and we playing this jumping game.
Well, I got a problem. I'm like, okay, I'm giving
you still stupid.
Look, I'm giving her a paramedic. Okay, go get her just because she was pushed and she was hesitating and she was thinking, but had she jumped on her own, let her die. No.
Oh my goodness.
That's so wrong. Okay, I even felt that one. I don't really mean that, people. Y'all know I don't mean that. I don't mean.
But we do understand what you're saying.
But what I am saying is, come on, people, use common sense. It's not everybody else's responsibility to fix things when you screw it up and you know better. My mom used to always say, God takes care of babies and fools. If you know better, you ain't a baby and you ain't a fool. Just remember that. That's all. That's all.
I ain't got nothing to say about it. You done already killed off the folk. That's your stance.
Okay. So back into voting. We must vote.
Yep.
I cannot say that enough. I hope everybody got out in the primaries and the primaries worked out the way you wanted them to work out.
But next is the midterms, right? November.
You're right. And you guys still got a primary situation going on.
Yeah, that's in the Republican Party, right?
Yes. So y'all don't know who the Democrat is going up against yet.
Yeah.
But just know your vote counts. And I'm bringing this up because I posted an article on the
Facebook
page.
Yep.
And it was about research that shows that people are not voting. It proves that non-voters are what got Trump elected. If you get an opportunity, even if you don't get an opportunity, make this an opportunity. Read that article. It's not too long. It's got a lot of graphics in it, which makes it look longer than it really is, but it's not too long. It's from the Washington Post. If you cannot read it from the page, because I know sometimes the Washington Post, they make you pay $1. You can only read a story for so long. Just Google the article and it'll come up outside of the Facebook page and see if you can read it there. It is a very good article because it gives you proof that not voting hurt. This hurt Clinton. It hurt the Democrats. It hurt everybody. The non-voters hurt more than the people who actually voted.
You would think with us consistently or constantly saying that Democrats would be doing more to urge people to vote, and I don't see a push for that. And that's sad to me. I'm seeing more push for progressives than I do from the Democratic Party.
Well, the Democratic Party to me has never been a party that's done that. The only people who did that was Obama. Him and his team, his campaign went out and physically signed people up to vote. The Democratic Party didn't do that. The Democratic Party can be lazy to me or lackadaisical in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Where they just sit.
But we don't have time for that right now.
We don't. But we don't have time to depend on them either.
Yeah.
Because they're just not doing their job in a lot of ways to me. But in this study, I just want to point out some of the things that this study showed. And like I said earlier, I go with companies that are reputable. This is research from Pew Research. Pew Research is one of the biggest research companies in the country.
What is that word you're saying?
Pew, P-E-W.
Okay.
They're one of the biggest research companies in the country. I learned about Pew Research personally back when I was 17 and first starting in radio. It was either Nielsen that I got my research from or Pew Research. It's reputable. They've been around for ages. They can be fact checked. The only other company that I would trust more than Pew Research is the U.S. Census. And I know the U.S. Census is skewed only because everybody didn't fill out their census card.
Mm-hmm.
Pew Research, on the other hand, they don't necessarily depend on everybody to fill out things, any kind of form. They go out to the people. They do the research. They do the lead work. This is all this company does, and they've done it for decades now. So anyway, non-whites made up almost half of non-voters, but only 25% of the voters. So that means black people and people of color. Let me not just say black people, because I'm still pissed off at the black ones. But people of color made up half of the people that didn't vote in this election, where he talked about Muslims, he talked about Mexicans, he talked about black people, he talked about Indians, he talked about disabled people. You mean to tell me only half of us got up off our butts and went and voted?
I mean, it's not surprising to me, because the way people were pitting this election or that election was the lesser of two evils. And so when you use that type of terminology, then it's like, well, I don't want no parts of it, because I don't want either one of them to win, as if there was another option. So realize that somebody had to win.
Right. And that's just it. You have to realize somebody's going to win. So when there is not an option that you like, you got to go for the lesser of two evils. You have no choice. Otherwise, we in this predicament. Second, more Democrats did not vote and more Republicans actually voted.
Yeah.
So here you are, you a Democrat. You wanted Bernie to win, but he didn't get it. Sorry. He did not win out of the Democrats. So Democrats did their own little election, and they said, which one you want, Clinton or Bernie? More people chose Clinton than they did Bernie. So all those people who chose Bernie just decided, I'm not going to go to the polls.
Yeah.
And so you take away half of the people who would have voted. And so now Clinton, she's got all her votes that she initially had, but it's only half of the party. And now more Republicans are going out to vote.
Right.
Come on, people. More blacks and Hispanics voted Democrat, but more white people voted. People under 30 preferred Clinton, but only 1/3 of all non-voters, that's 1 in 8 in that group, actually voted. One person out of every 8 people under 30 voted. College graduates lean toward Clinton, but white people without degrees voted for Trump.
Of course, yeah.
And I mean,
we knew that.
See that.
Yeah.
And non-whites without a college degree made up 40% of the non-voters. So uneducated people of color are 40% of the 50% of the people that didn't vote. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's a lot.
That's 1 out of every 5 people. 1 out of every 5 black people. Come on. This is ridiculous. Get up, get out, go vote. Stop telling me my vote doesn't count, because in the research that they did, it is clear. Yes, your non-vote, the fact that you didn't get up and vote,
that was pretty much a vote.
It counted. Big time counted. Stop with the nonsense. You got to stop. Everything's not a debate. Everything's not an argument. You don't believe it works? Okay, fine. Don't believe it works. But what does it hurt for you to take your butt down to a poll and cast that vote? Too many people died for black people to have the right to vote. Too many people died for women to have the right to vote. And let's be real. All those people that died for black people to have the right to vote died for Mexican people to have the right to vote, Indian people to have the right to vote, any person of color, because the only fight was between black and white at the time, but nobody else was voting anyway. Only white people were voting before civil rights. Mexicans weren't voting before civil rights. Indians weren't voting before civil rights. And then you have the civil rights movement that happens. And yes, it was about black and white, but if you look under the cap of civil rights, every minority is covered under civil rights. That's Mexicans, that's Indians, that's anybody that is not white. And on top of that, anybody that is not a white male, because women are covered under civil rights. Do your history, do your homework. Get up, get out, go vote. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I made it to the polls. It was raining. I got down there. I don't know what, I think they did it on purpose. It was construction going all around, just my polling place. Nothing else, just my polling place.
They were trying to deter you, probably.
Blocked off all the streets, one way in, one way out. And the thing about it is, once you got in there and you parked, because there was no way out, you couldn't really turn around. And so people are trying to come down the street. People are trying to back up the street.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It was a hot mess. It was raining. People had come out because we had right to work.
Right to work, yeah.
And so people came out. They was like, "No, we're not having
and
this."
they voted that down.
And I say this all the time: we have more in common than we don't have alike. We really do, because that right to work, white people, green people, yellow people, purple, every people was like, "Nope, nope, nope." They came out against that. Mm-hmm. So people were there, people were out, and you should have always just trying to get up and down.
And the fact that word was out that this was going to be on the ballot, I feel like that made the difference.
They made it clear. Because it wasn't the Democrats that made it clear.
I'm sure.
It was the unions that made it clear. And that's what we have to be. We got to be our own union. Democrats won't do the job. We got to start doing it for them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it's not doing it for them. We're doing it for us.
Ourselves, yeah.
So we got to get out there and we got to start spreading the word. Please, 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 please get out and vote. I have never seen so much compacted research from Pew on one specific voter registration in ever.
I feel like
they went above and beyond.
Especially people like my age. I don't think that we've ever realized the importance of voting until this particular election.
That's why they did it, because we
never talked about voting so much. Until this the 2016 election. Yeah.
Obama, we didn't really discuss that. I mean, we
discussed him winning. We were excited about it. We had the watch parties and all that.
Go vote.
We talked about it, but not to this extent. And you realize it, because I think even back then people kept saying, "Oh, your vote doesn't count," and family, people they went out, but they went out and voted though for Obama.
I'm gonna go out and vote anyway. My dad voted for the very first time in his life, and he's always been, my vote don't count, my vote don't count. But without the assist of anybody, he still got up and went and voted. And to older black people, it just meant something.
Yeah.
Even if, they even thought, even if it doesn't work, I gotta go cast my vote for him.
And when I went to vote, last Monday I went a day before, because in my county you can vote early. But when I went to the election office, all I saw was like older people. I didn't see, young people. Maybe if I went on election day, I may have saw a more diverse group. I did see diversity as far as the color of people, but as far as the age, it was all older people, and I was probably the youngest person that I saw around. And I'm hoping that that's going to change by midterm.
I hope so. Midterms are so important because midterms will make or break the next 2 years, and they're going to make or break this judge that goes into the Supreme Court, because it might be possible the Democrats might get lucky. Something might come up with Russia where all that goes to a halt, and it has to wait until after November, and they can't get him confirmed. It's no guarantee that they can get him confirmed. One Hail Mary pass it's going to definitely
be a Hail Mary, especially when he has the assistance of the Republican Party right now.
Like I said, one Hail Mary pass, fingers crossed, might be able to keep them from confirming him before the elections. But if we don't get out and vote, and we don't get out and make the changes that need to be made in the midterms, then it doesn't matter what happens, because they will get him in over the next 2 years. It might not happen before November, but it will definitely.
And
happen
I can see the
Trump
Republicans letting him confirming him as the Supreme Court, and then going after Trump. I can see it happening.
I can see that
because
too.
Now they want to showcase that they have the balls to stand up for our country, and we can no longer sit idly by after they got what they wanted as far as the Supreme Court pick too.
And have
Supreme
you been
Court
seeing
picks.
the Space Force logos that
get out of
everybody's
here.
supposed to vote on?
I don't even want to talk about that
bullshit. I was actually watching something this morning, and they were talking about how that even if we got him out of office today, the damage he's done
in such a short
tariffs,
amount of time.
Right, the damage he's done with the tariffs, the damage he's done with our position and standing across the world has damaged the dollar so much. Right now, the dollar is the national currency the worldwide currency, actually, for most countries. They will deal in dollar. Everybody will deal in dollar because the dollar is respected, but everything he's done has started to crush the dollar, and it may not be anything we can recoup. The damage he's done, we might not be able to fix.
And we need to hold him and all those who
Republicans we
need to hold them accountable.
Every last one of them.
Republicans who want your legacy to go out like this. I was a member of Congress, and I was complicit, and I allowed the takedown of the country I say I support and I'm patriotic and I love, and I sat idly by.
All them dollars that they making, it looks like them dollars might not be worth too much of nothing later. That's when it's really gonna hit. Karma gets you. Karma gets you every time, and it might be the downfall of the American economy that gets every last one of them, and it ain't gonna be nobody's fault but theirs.
Because they not gonna know how to struggle and survive like we do.
We know how not to answer the phone when the bill collectors call.
We know how to make ends meet. We know how to rub two nickels together,
get outside,
and make it do what it
tomatoes.
do. Yeah.
We know how to say, okay, only meat on Fridays. Every other day of the week, you're going to be eating beans.
Yeah.
Believe me, my mom eats beans every single day.
Don't you call it what, lentils? That what
she
you call
eats beans. She eats lentils. It's just, It's just, I'm like, Mama, if you don't put a piece of meat on this table.
You eat wheat noodles, so you can't really talk too much crap about your mama.
Hey, I can talk. Yes, I can, because I got wheat noodles from her. She uses whole wheat to make the crust on the pie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remind me never to eat a slice of your mama's pie.
Wait a minute. She the only person, and don't, and I ask her all the time. Mama, wait a minute now. My mom has never been the best cook. She just hasn't. She knows that. But, she used to make some things when we were little that we loved. But she started making them dang on pies. And
what kind of pies?
My mom used to make the best apple pie ever. So one year for my birthday, I said, Mama, it's one thing I want you to make for me. You haven't made it since I was a kid. Make me an apple pie. Okay. She makes this apple pie. She gives it to me, and I'm tasting it. I'm like, something ain't right about this apple pie. I say how I used to remember it. And she's like, so how you like it? I made it with whole wheat crust. I'm like, you just ruined my pie. Just my whole pie experience. So now when she makes a pie, I'm like, what kind of flour are you using?
Oh, my goodness.
She used to make carrot cakes that were great. And, of course, she's the one that taught me how to make a bean pie. So
you want to talk about the bean pies again?
My bean pies are the bomb. You refuse to taste them, so I'm not studying you.
I go off looks for some things.
It looks like a piece of pie.
No, the first time you made those pies, and I saw what looked like a layer of lard and a thin layer of refried beans.
You saw.
I said, I will
It did
pass.
not look like that. I will find a picture of what it looked like. It was not lard and it was not refried beans.
That's
Good
what it looked
God.
like. It was a mess.
Let me find a picture because I'm sure I took one. You
shouldn't have.
crazy.
You would have broke that damn camera. I know. I didn't want no parts of it.
You ain't tasting my pies. My pies are good. I ain't studying you. I make them pies for everybody in my family.
Okay. Well,
Point
you're
being-
better at it now.
But point being, my mom makes whole wheat pies, and so yeah, I get the whole wheat noodles. I get that from her.
Okay.
Speaking of, she told me to tell you how. And on that note, we're wrapping up, and we're gonna say goodbye.
Peace.